Birds are noisy this morning. Or maybe just the rest of the world is oddly quiet. So, good morning, YouTube. There's a straight lawnmower in front of me. That's odd. It's something I generally just see laying around. I don't know what to think of that. Looks nice. I'm not going to grab it, but yeah, odd. Anyway, so it's 6:38 a.m., Saturday, April 23rd, 2022, and thinking back on last night and stupid videos that I shot last night after leaving Bullocks, and man, my mind was in such a jumble. I don't think I gave any kind of clarity on anything. And to be fair, I don't even really remember them that much, other than just feeling kind of frantic while I was shooting them. Anyway, I don't think I did any after I left the check cashing place. It got kind of chilly after that. But anyway, I did get the money order, and on that note, I am on my way to my landlord's to give them my money for the month of May, which is the last month in my lease. So hopefully I'll get a straight answer out of him as to what is the status of my rent next month, because yeah, it's a really unnerving thing to have just hanging over my head right now. My biggest fear. Oh, and check that out. That is a bird that I rode home-ish last night. And maybe I'll explain that in a little bit. And that is somebody in a Nissan who doesn't know where the hell they're going, so they made a U-turn. All right. And ahead there are dead people. All right. I just wanted to sum up everything in my field of vision. And adopt a street. Yeah, whatever the hell that means. So, yeah, my worst fear is that I'm going to receive a 30-day notice of you need to get the fuck out. I think once upon a time I was dating an older woman who was a disbarred lawyer who specialized in landlord-tenant law, and learned a lot of things from her, particularly about the Arizona Landlord-Tenant Act and the ins and outs of that. And yeah, compared to some places, compared to probably most places in the United States, Arizona residential renters are really don't have a lot of rights. Which, there's pros and cons of that. If you own property, you should be able to do what you want with it. And I certainly feel for landlords that get bad tenants and can't get rid of them, or people that own property that they could do other things with, but they're unable to do other things with because they've got a tenant that they absolutely cannot get out of their property. So I can kind of see it from both angles, but my immediate situation is I don't want to be homeless in a month. So yeah, and I have a lot of stuff that I really don't have the means to remove out of my place in merely a month. As I don't really have anybody to help me with that, and I still have a pretty demanding work schedule, and that I'm trying to commute with on foot because I still don't have my goddamn car. I do think I'm going to try to make a trip down to Rob's shop this morning just to kind of see what that situation is about. And it's probably annoying Rob, me just randomly showing up like that, but so wow, there seems to be some new artwork added to the sidewalk. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. All right, moving on. I don't know. It's kind of unnerving. But if the basis for them not, being. There was a time period where I always did pay my rent, in this last year that I've been without a housing assistance, but there was definitely a stretch of a few months where my money was insanely tight, would not have covered it without the assistance that I got from Priscilla. And she pays her bills on CPT. There's just, at least when it comes to money that she knows she's supposed to give me, I never get it early, ever anywhere remotely close to early. It's always kind of late and kind of after some extra prompting. So one thing I've really tried to make clear to Lon, especially since I've been working for Amazon and actually getting paid from Amazon, because there was a couple, about 2.5 week lag between working for Amazon and actually getting paid from Amazon, is that I'm not like that. And as soon as I'm stable enough to be paying rent, you'll be getting it early, which is why I'm making a point to pay it today on the 23rd. So hopefully he'll take that into consideration. But I really don't know where his head is at. During my short relationship with Crystal, while I was in her bed, I had mentioned that I really didn't know what my rent was going to be. I was talking about how rents have just been escalating in this area. And I mentioned that I really didn't know what my rent was going to be. Or, I hadn't even signed a new lease, and it was kind of getting down the wire. It was making me nervous. And then I mentioned who my landlord was. She's like, oh, I knew Lon, which is interesting because now I get to find out if Lon knows her. But anyway, she said she knew him from the American Legion across the street that he likes to hang out at. I know Lon as a former service member. I'm not really sure what branch. I want to say he was a Marine, but I'm not even sure where I'm getting that from. Just a voice in my head is saying he was a Marine, but I don't really know. Never really talked to Lon about his previous military service. But anyway, Lon's kind of an interesting character, and I do feel like he's had quite a life prior to managing this property as a resident landlord, property manager, whatever the heck he is. Anyway, she never really explained what she was doing over at the American Legion, because that seems like an odd place for her to be. And she did, no, never mind. She did say she's got her son was in the military. So yeah, it's enough reason for any woman to wander into a Legion Hall. At least in my book it is. Anyway, check it out. More new grave plots. They're moving a little farther to the north with that project there. A little too early to see them working on it today. So anyway, I don't know if I mentioned it when I was going on and on about Crystal, but conversation with her yesterday, the text conversation, was just one of the most psychotic I've ever had with anybody, which is really saying a lot, considering some of the psychotic text conversations I've had with, I don't know, my ex-wife, Priscilla. I can mention quite a few, but anyway, it was kind of weird. At some points it almost seemed cordial, and then at some places just seemed kind of psycho. But I'm sitting here looking at the messages on my other phone right now. Yeah, right now, all my texts and stuff. My phone number is back in this god-awful thing, and she's got the Samsung. I'm feeling a little better about losing the Samsung. I'm still pissed about it, but I'm going to explain my rationale in the next video. I know I'm not going to get to it now because I'm getting awfully close to Lon's place, but where should I back it up to? Well, let's see. I was kind of giving her some details on me trying to get to the, my bus journey, trying to get to the bar, and I don't know why I share that with people. I guess just so people can get a mental image of like what I'm dealing with. It's like, as far as like trying to take public transit places, because I feel like people that don't ride transit don't really know. And even though she doesn't drive, I feel like that even includes Crystal. Anyway, it was on Thursday at 8 p.m. I got a text from her that said, on my way. At which point I responded, okay, I just got here. In reference to Bullocks. Didn't hear from her at all. And of course, at that point, I was just like busy setting up my equipment. And then I was busy setting up, busy setting up my equipment. And then there were some issues with the PA system, which I think I mentioned in a couple of videos yesterday. I never did get into more detail of that, and I really should, as those issues were not resolved. But anyway, that ended up causing it pretty much to take like right up until the time I started the show. Like usually, I got some hang time between when I get when I get my equipment set up. And when I actually start the show, I kind of maybe work on files or just socialize with people and get a feeling for new people that might be into karaoke, and just kind of, it's a good thing to be friendly with people in a bar when you're the DJ and kind of make some connections. So, I usually have a little hang time to do that. Did not have hang time to do that Thursday, so I just went right from what the hell is with this PA? I guess this is as good as I can get it to sound, to holy crap, this sounds awful. Let me make some adjustments while I'm already doing the show. I'm busy doing a show. But by 10 o'clock, I did get a little breather, and I sent her a text saying, are you okay? Did you get lost? At 10 p.m. And never heard a response from her. So, long story short, since I just walked by my landlord's place and kind of need to double back and get my rent paid, I never heard from her all night. I didn't want to be the guy who's blowing up her phone, and frankly, I was too busy with my show to really worry much about that. And granted, there was a part of my mind the entire time that was like, wow, wonder what the hell's up with that. But I was pretty much nonstop busy until well after the bar closed. And it didn't, I guess I could have sent her some texts after the show, but since I hadn't heard from her the whole night, it just didn't feel right sending her texts since she didn't reply to that. At 10:10, I didn't really feel right sending her another message, between 3 and 4 in the morning. But the plans were she was supposed to show up there around 9-ish, between 8 and 9. And then she said that she would, and I told her, well, the bus is leaving till 4. And I don't know how the bar is going to feel about you being in there. And she's like, oh, no problem. I've told her, my stance on Lyft is that it's Lyft and Uber are not businesses that I feel comfortable supporting for moral reasons. And I could go on at length on that, but I really don't have time for it. But maybe someday I will. I'm just not. So many bad experiences riding with Uber and Lyft, and the bottom line is it's really costly. And I've got other more important things that I think my money needs to go to, mainly trying to clear up my consumer debt, and hopefully, paying Rob for the repairs of my car soon, and the possibility of maybe having to move. I don't even like to think about that, but that's something I do need to keep on my mind. Hey, look, it's a bug disguised as a mouse. I love those things. Anyway. But she had said that she would, that she would pay for a Lyft for us to go back to her place. And I'm like, okay, great. Or an Uber or whatever. So, that was kind of in my plan. But of course, after 3 in the morning, still hadn't heard from her. It's like, well, I guess I'm, waiting until 4 taking the bus. I do think I mentioned in one of the videos I shot that, oh, wow, cat just appeared out of the bushes. Good times. That my ride went way quicker than ever before. yeah, the Route 60 was early, and the driver was driving like an absolute bat out of hell, as per always. And I got some interesting screenshots showing how he was almost constantly way early showing up to stops, to the point it was messing up the algorithm that shows when buses are arriving on the app. The guy drives like a freaking maniac. It makes me nervous as hell. So, I mean, I got off at 16th Street. I wasn't even riding that last mile with him. Camelback bus pretty much showed up right on time. That guy was excellent. And that driver always is. It's not always the same driver, but every driver I get on that route always seems to be pretty darn cool. And then when I got to 44th Street, much to my surprise, instead of my usual 25 minutes wait, where I go into Circle K and maybe hit up my 2 bank ATMs to try to kill the 25 minutes, it showed that the bus that should have been there, because usually I miss a bus by about 5-ish minutes. Like I get there, it's like, there's, bus, it's 25 minutes wait. The previous bus was here 5 minutes ago. That bus was running late, and it actually got me, ended up showing up in about 7 minutes. So that was nice. I wish it was always late at just that amount of time. That was great. But yeah, didn't hear from her at all. Didn't really know what to think. I mean, I wasn't feeling very positive about it. She did say she was going out with this gay friend of hers named Chris that is like her girlfriend. Never know what to think about those kind of relationships, but whatever. I mean, she's been dating for 5 days. I'm certainly not in a position to be telling her who she can and can't hang out with. I mean, I don't even do that to Priscilla, and we've been, that's a decade plus thing. Anyway, I finally, so I ended up going home, fall asleep. There's more to say about that, and I'll get to it. But anyway, I finally texted her at like 3:49 p.m. as I was on my way to Bullocks with, and stuck in the transit hell traffic I was dealing with yesterday afternoon with what happened to you last night. To which she pretty promptly responded, very promptly responded, "Can you just leave me alone? I'm not interested." There's more after that. I'll get to it in the next video, but I need to go pay my rent. There's going to be quite a few videos today. I'm going to get all this shit off my chest and share it with the world, because that's what I do, because I'm otherwise really alone. I got plans to bring a CD to a woman that I don't even know her name, but I know where she typically is early in the morning on Saturday, so I'm hoping I'll see her. Anyway, I'll explain more. Thanks for coming with on the walk. And what a suspenseful ending, huh?